One thing I am certain about is that you guys are so tired of me. So hi Glammies, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new, my name is Minky and I am inconsistently on YouTube. Let's talk about it. Hi guys. It has been a while since I posted a video. I did post like a couple of sponsored videos because I had to, but I felt like I needed to actually do a sit down so that we could actually talk and I could tell you guys what this year has been like, because it's unlike anything that I've experienced before. Like, so much happened and I feel like we need to get into it. Okay, so first things first, I always feel bad coming back to YouTube after like long periods of time because I know that a lot of you guys really do enjoy my content. I am no longer a full-time content creator. Being on social media has made me no money. Like, I think I've made next to no money over the past like 3 years or whatever. And that's simply because my work and like the businesses and the other stuff that I'm trying to do and trying to get together, that is my priority. However, I think especially like over this past year, I have really missed creating content. And this year I definitely wanted to create more content, but we're gonna get into that. But I genuinely have missed it. I've missed it so much. I miss the creative outlet that it gives me. Also, I miss the community, right? Like, I miss talking to you guys. I miss just being in that space where we can like talk and share ideas. It's just something that I love to do, and I feel deprived of it. And I think that now that I'm coming from a place of, you know, wanting to create because I crave it, rather than creating because I feel obligated to, things might be a little bit different. I am really sorry that I'm not consistent. If the things that pay me take up more energy, more time, and that means that my social media kind of like suffers in a sense, I don't want that to be the case, but I also can't split myself into like 6 different people to do all of the stuff. But with that being said, I genuinely have missed creating content so much, and I just hope that I will be able to strike a balance between putting on some content, be it on TikTok, which I love, by the way. If you guys don't follow me on TikTok, please follow me there. But you know, putting out content on TikTok, putting out content on Instagram, and also YouTube. YouTube is also like the most time consuming because the editing process can be very labor intensive. But guys, I will do my best, okay? And if my best is a video a month, a video every 2 months, 6 videos in a week, and then you don't hear from me for like 3 months, I don't know, but I will do my best. In other news, I have lost weight and I'm so happy about it. Let me tell you. I have lost weight, and the amazing thing about it is that I've actually been able to keep the weight off, which is something that I struggled with. So I've really struggled with my body image quite a lot for the past like 5 years. And for me to get to a place where I can actually be like, I like my body, I love my body as it is, it's taken a lot. I also feel like I have undiagnosed like body dysmorphia, and that's another story for another day, girl. But I've had all of these body image issues, and now I finally gotten into a routine of like eating and exercise that has really worked for me. I've managed to keep the weight off. At this point, I think I've lost about 6 kilos, and it may not seem like a lot, but because I'm not the tallest person around, right? Like, I'm not that tall, but I'm also not like short, if that makes sense. But I am like a smaller person, if that makes sense. And so it may not seem like a lot, but the difference is significant when I look at myself. Even like the way that my clothes fit, I've had to have a lot of things taken in. Clothes are obviously bigger on me and stuff, and I'm getting to a point where I genuinely like how my body looks. But the routine that I've gotten into now has been amazing. I have struck the balance between the food that I'm eating, the supplements that I'm taking, the exercise that I'm doing, how often I'm exercising, what I'm doing, like all of those things. It's taken time to strike that balance, but the moment you get it, oh my goodness, there's nothing like it. And I feel like that is a video that I have to do on its own if you guys want to see it. That is a video that I'll happily do on its own, because there's just so much like misinformation out there about body composition, about exercising, about weight loss. There's also like, I feel like an overload of information, so you don't know what's true, what's not, what works, what doesn't. But these are things that have worked for me, and maybe some of those will help you. But let me know down in the comments if you guys want like a full video on how I've done that. I did a video on how I lost weight about 5 years ago, and even though I lost the weight, I managed to keep it off for a little bit, and then like I gained it all back and then some. So at the beginning of this year, you guys were on the journey with me when I was diagnosed with my chronic illness, which is chronic urticaria, which is a fancy word for chronic hives. My body would break out in hives, and then my face would also swell. My face and my fingers would also swell. So like my lips would swell, my eyes would swell, my hands would swell, like the whole nine. And so I was put on steroid treatments to try and help with that, especially with the swelling. And if you guys know anything about a steroid treatment, if you guys know anything about cortisone, yeah, the water retention is real, the weight gain is real. For the longest time, I just didn't want to be visible, especially on the internet, because I hated how I looked. I hated what the medication did to me, what it did to my skin, what it did to my weight. It made me feel out like I'm the type of person, when I've gained weight, you see it in my face, and my face was just so like puffy. I remember having a session with my life coach, and I just cried in that session. I just cried in that session, and I just told her how much I hated how I looked, and how it had had such a significant impact on my mental health. It had had such an impact on my self-esteem. And I think, to answer your question, that's probably where I've been for a lot of this year. I've been hiding because I wasn't happy with how I looked, because I had gained all of this weight, because my self-esteem, baby, it was on the floor. Okay, I had no confidence. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to do anything. And so that was a really big struggle. So around June, I went to go see my GP, and he put me on this, because before I had seen like specialists and like different people, and I'd also seen my GP once before, but I went back to him and I was just like, listen, like these specialists are not giving me anything that is making a significant difference, and this is still happening. And I don't know if I've spoken about my GP before, but he is incredible. So he was my mom's doctor. And the day that my mom gave birth to me, she had gone to see him. And he was just like, my good sis, you're in labor. You're in labor, babes. Like, you need to get to the hospital. And so that is the relationship that we have, right? Like, he has literally watched me grow up. So anyway, so I went back to him and I said to him, listen, this is what needs to happen. Like, we need to figure this thing out. And he was just like, he took out like this book, and he was just like, there's this new, I remember he called it the new kid on the block. He was like, there's this new kid on the block. It's an antihistamine, and apparently it's really good. Then he prescribed it to me, and I started taking that. And within about 3 or 4 days, everything had cleared up. And I was taking one every single day, and I did not have any flare-ups at all. I started taking them, and then I started like skipping a day. And I don't know if this is recommended, so don't take my advice at all in this situation. But I started like skipping a day. Then I skipped 2 days, and then I skipped 3 days. And then after 3 days, then like I would take another one. And that is how I've been going. I don't know if I am completely in remission because I haven't gone more than like 3 days without taking it. I think a part of me is like really scared, but I am trying to like not take them as often, if that makes sense. Guys, when I tell you I am in a better place health-wise, I definitely feel like losing weight helped. I definitely feel like lowering my cortisol levels absolutely helped. Figuring out like my gut situation, that definitely helped. And as I said, I don't know if I'm completely in remission. I might be, but I think that my overall lifestyle changes have also contributed over and above the medication, because the medication only stays in your system for about, I think, like 24 hours or whatever. And so if I can go like 2 days without taking the medication and it's not in my system, I feel like something good is happening. We will revisit that one. We will circle back. Now, another thing that you guys are probably really interested in knowing is my relationship. So yes, I am in a relationship and I'm very, very happy. We've been together for a while now, and this is not something that I will be like sharing on social media, but I will say this, and I think that we will also have like a different video with this entire topic of conversation. For the past 3 years since my ex-fiance and I broke up, I have not been in a relationship. I have dated around, I have, you know, dated certain people for a longer time than others, but I have not been in a relationship. And that was because my standards were very high. And I am the type of person that at the first sign of nonsense rubbish, like, I'm gone, because I do believe in having grace and like people making mistakes. However, I think that if you are going to constantly test my boundaries, we're gonna have a problem. And with all of the people that I've dated, I've made it very clear what it is that I require. And some of them have fallen off because they could not be that, which is fine. They can be something else and, you know, bring a lot of value to like other people. But I don't think that as women we should be demonized for having standards, and we should be demonized for wanting what we want and staying 10 toes down in that. I'm not saying that I was looking for a perfect person, because I myself am not a perfect person, and I get that. But I think that it is very important that you meet someone or you're with someone who you guys can really understand and come together like on a level, right? Where you understand that the other person is not perfect, because as I said, nobody is perfect, but you also compromise for one another and you're there for one another in the way that the other person needs you to be. I'm so happy that I found that. I think for the longest time I really struggled because I felt as though I was not worthy of love, of being loved, even though I always felt like I had so much love to give. But I felt like I was not worthy of receiving that. And so those are the things that I've had to work through. That has been a huge component of my healing journey. And healing is so important before you go into any kind of relationship. I will always believe in that, because when you're not healed, you can't be happy. And if you think that a relationship is going to make you happy, maybe in the honeymoon stage it will. But ultimately, if you're not a happy person, that's going to show quickly in that relationship as well, because you can't put everything on another human being. Like, you can't put your soul, happiness and joy into someone else. It's too much pressure. It's too much. You have to be happy within yourself. You need to be healed within yourself. You also don't want to bring baggage from previous relationships into this new relationship. You want to sort of enter it on a clean slate as much as possible. However, with that being said, I think that there is a certain level of healing that you do within a relationship as well. And I'll tell you why I say that. I feel like healing it's kind of like school. It's kind of like learning. You know, you do your tests and you have like the theories and you work through this and, you know, you write exams and whatever. But then there comes a time for a practical. Do you know what I'm saying? Where you have put everything that you've learned to the test. And when you're healing from past traumas within relationships, I think that there's also an amount of healing that is done now when you're within that relationship. But he's great. He is a little bit like in my Zanzibar vlog, and then maybe you'll see him from time to time. And when I say him, I mean his hand. But he is an incredible man. He really is. He's taught me a lot. He's loved me in a way that I feel like I've needed to be loved. The woman that I am now needs to be cared for in a certain way, needs to be loved in a certain way, needs to be communicated to in a certain way. This man right here, I feel like even if, God forbid, anything were to happen and we were no longer together, I finally feel like, wow, isn't it amazing? I have this sense of peace now within me where I'm just like, dang, like, I'm so grateful that such a love exists and such a relationship can exist. And I'm so blessed and grateful to have been in it. And because I've been in it, I believe that it exists and I believe that I can be in it again and again and again with different people. Obviously, that is not what I want, but isn't it amazing to know that a relationship like this exists? You know what I mean? I also turned 30, and for my 30th birthday, he surprised me with a trip to Zanzibar. And we had a time, girl. We had a time. That vlog is absolutely coming because I was just like, do you know what? To atone for my actions of not being consistent on the Red app, I have to if there is anything, I have to give my girls a Zanzibar vlog. At the very least, like bare minimum. I don't know how good it is because I haven't reviewed all of the content. But the most important things I feel are there. That one is absolutely coming up and I cannot wait for you guys to see it. Also, since turning 30, there's a lot that's happened with, you know, friendships, with just how I'm showing up as a person right now, with certain relationships that I have with my friends, with my family. And I think I've just gotten to a point where there's something like a flip that switches as you enter 30, like in the year leading up to it, where you really learn to stand on your own and you just don't put up with rubbish anymore. Like, I am absolutely a recovering people pleaser. And the moment that I just stopped and was just like, do you know what? No, these are my boundaries. You're not going to treat me that way. You're not going to talk to me that way. These kinds of interactions, this is not how this is going to go down. The moment I started doing that, I started seeing a change in the way that people interact with me. And some of it has been good because I'm grateful to be around most people that respect me and respect my boundaries. But it has caused, when I tell you, chaos in other relationships, absolute chaos. But I stick by that because I am someone who will always try to respect other people's boundaries. and communicate with people in a way that I feel like is respectful and effective. So if you can't do that for me, there's nothing that we're doing. And that's what it is. I've been going back and forth with it, like, am I too harsh? Am I, you know, like, am I setting myself up for failure? Like, what is happening? But because I'm not used to being that person that really, obviously, like, over the past couple of years, I've definitely gotten better. But because for the majority of my life, I've let people talk to me however they want, treat me however they want, literally just do whatever they wanted to me, and I would still, like, not even not retaliate. Sometimes I wouldn't even communicate at all how it made me feel, and then I stayed stuck in those relationships, and not just romantic relationships. I stayed stuck in those relationships when I knew for a fact that I wasn't happy. And now that I'm finally out of that, guys, there is something about it that is so freeing. At the end of the day, like, if we take it, like, to the bare basics, like, God is all you need. God is all you need. And God is the only one that will have a say on how my life turns out. God is the only one that will have a say in what my destiny will be. God is the only one that will have a say as to how this entire situation plays out. And so I am no longer operating from a place of fear, you know, for me just existing as my authentic self. And there's something amazing about that. There's something really liberating about that. And yeah, that is it. There are also other things that have happened, like my bestie Mimi, she moved to New York. She got her dream job, and I'm so freaking proud of her, but I miss my girl so much. But she will be back. Okay, she will be back. You guys will see her soon, and then she'll have to leave again. But I'm super excited to see her. I love her. I'm so excited for her. She landed her dream job, and I feel like, and I even told her this, I was just like, we literally manifested this, because there was all of, she landed her dream job in New York. And so I want to end this video by saying that whatever it is that you want, that you are trusting God for, keep the faith, keep trusting. It's on its way. And when God delivers it, He is going to deliver it as a full package. You're not going to have little bits of it. You're going to have the whole thing. If it is the relationship that you want, if you are trusting God for marriage, if you are trusting God for a new house, a new car, even if you have 5 rand in your bank account right now, do not stop believing. Do not stop praying about it. Do not stop looking at homes on Property 24. Or don't not go test drive the car that you want. Don't, like, all of, guys, God will give it to you in its full form, in its full package as it is. Okay, you won't have to struggle for bits and bobs and whatever. So trust in God, whatever you are believing in. And for me, I say this because I feel like I am standing in several answered prayers right now, and I'm so grateful. Healing and leveling up and trying to be a better person is not an overnight thing. It is something that you will have to do on a continuous basis, and you'll never stop. You'll never stop learning. You'll never stop, you should never stop trying to be the best version of yourself in every way possible. But do it knowing that God is on your side, so there's nothing that you have to fear. All right, with that, I'm going to end this video. I love you guys all so much. Thank you for rocking with me. I know many of you are very sick and tired of me, but I love you. I still love you. I hope you will be back to watch my sporadic videos. Yeah, I love you guys. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Well, bye.